Good evening, welcome to the Plough Quarterly Celebration of Music. It is so exciting to see such a full room. Thank you all so much for coming. This is the launch of our spring issue of the magazine, Plough Quarterly. Hopefully, each one of you picked up a copy of the magazine. This is why we put on free events here. Thank you very much for coming. Also, please buy lots of food to support St. Martin in the Fields and the good work they do. And thank you to you as well. And music is absolutely something that should be talked about, should be discussed. Above all, music is something that should bring us together to perform and to enjoy. And that's why we're here tonight. And I'm not going to talk to you about music, but I'm going to talk to you about Plough Quarterly because I very much want you to subscribe to the magazine. And I'll tell you why. Plough Quarterly is about 100 years old. It was started at the same time as the Brotherhood Community Movement, who has been publishing the magazine for the last century or so. In 2015, it was sort of relaunched, and in 2018, we came out with a UK edition, and we've had one ever since. So it's very similar to the US edition, but we've removed the more egregiously American articles and replaced them with UK content. And crucially, we anglicized the spelling. Okay. So just out of interest, do we have any people here who knew about Plough before you heard about this event? Toby, fantastic. Joy, those are some good friends. And do we have any subscribers here? Thank you so much. Next year when we do this, the room is just, every hand's gonna go up. Okay. So a little bit about who Plough is. In a way, we're a bit difficult to pigeonhole. I would say Plough is a magazine for people who are not satisfied with their lives or with the world around them. It's a magazine for people who feel they don't fit in and who feel uncomfortable with labels. People who are suspicious of pat answers. People who want to sit down at the kitchen table and arm wrestle with the issues of the day and try to figure out what they actually think about these things. Plough readers are of all ages and all sorts of backgrounds. Most of them, but not all of them, are Christian. And there are plenty of people who used to be Christian or wish they could be Christian, but have a little bit of a problem with Christians. In a way, I would say people who feel a little bit spiritually homeless. Insofar as we can be said to have a core group of readers, there are people who are concerned about faith and action and who are wondering whether they're doing enough. So 4 times a year when I send out the magazine, the person in my mind who I'm imagining is a mechanic on a lunch break, pulling out sort of a grease-stained copy of the magazine and weighting it down with a pork pie in one corner and a McDonald's coffee cup in the other. We try to cover issues that are both timeless and relevant to our particular time. So reverence for life, care for the environment, family, immigration, justice, peacemaking, the role of music and art. Above all, we try to address how we should approach these issues as Christians or as fellow members of the human race. We are politically nonpartisan, and we are keen to make common cause with other people and organizations who share similar concerns on particular issues. Inevitably, this means that our contributors come from across the religious, social, and political spectrum. So, in case you can't tell, I'm inviting you to be part of the Plough community. Please subscribe to our free newsletter. Sign up to the magazine. Please subscribe, and you can subscribe tonight. We have a special offer, just £14. Get the magazine and a free drink. And we have copies of the magazine out by the door you came in. So please, if you didn't get one, we have one for each one of you. And I'm now going to hand over to Joy Clarkson, who will be our Master of Ceremonies tonight. Joy holds a PhD in theology from the Institute of Arts at the University of St. Andrews. She hosts Speaking with Joy, a popular podcast about art, theology, and culture, and she writes books, including her most recent, Aggressively Happy, a realist guide to believing in the goodness of life. She is a bird watcher, a book collector, and a passionate evangelist for Yorkshire Gold Tea. So Joy, take it away.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you so much for coming this evening. We're very thankful to St. Martin in the Fields for letting us host this. And I will say once again, to encourage you that there is food, there are drinks to be gotten, so let the wine spill and the snacks be abundant. I will not bore you much longer because I want to begin to do the thing that we're all here to enjoy, which is music. Now, when we made this issue, which is called Why We Make Music, we didn't just want to write about music or about particular pieces of music. We wanted to get to the heart of why we make music. I think music is an essentially human thing. We make music to rejoice at moments when we're experiencing some kind of profound jubilation. We make music to lament, to express the sorrow that can't be contained in words. We sing to remember loved ones, events that have passed, important things that have happened. And we sing music to praise, to reach to the divine, where there's always been a connection with music. But one of the essentially human things about music is that we make music together. And that is what's so exciting about tonight. We have gathered together a crew of musicians ranging from jazz to gospel to folk to classical. And what's been really fun is that since we've been rehearsing and getting everything together, they have naturally created some collaborations that we didn't know were going to happen until tonight. So I'm excited to share this event with you all and the music that we will hear this evening. I want to also alert you all that we're going to do some singing together, so emotionally prepare yourselves for that. And if you want the lyrics for that, the easiest way to get them is to go on Twitter. My Twitter is JoinUsTheBrave, at JoinUsTheBrave, JoynessThe Brave. And I have a picture with all the lyrics, but we'll sing that at the very end. So without further ado, I don't see him, but I'm going to welcome up Chris Paladino. Where is Chris? Oh, he's behind me. How exciting. Chris is, he is a Nigerian singer, songwriter, and producer. His music defies, I tried to get him to pin down what sort of music he made, and he said that he defied genre. He is a multi-genre artist with a passion for sharing the gospel of Christ through music. He remembers as a child using his mom's hairbrush and as a mic and jumping up on the family's dinner table to sing songs like I Feel Good. He serves the CLF in Lambeth and the CLM Trust and the Ascension Trust. All of the music you'll hear tonight was produced by him, and as you shall soon see, also sung by him. So can we get a round of applause for Chris Paladino?
What an introduction. Thank you so much. And a point of correction. Yes, some of the songs you're going to hear, I wrote, produced, but not all of them. So just in case some of them come chasing me, so no, I wrote that song. It's like, no. So disclaimer there. How are we all doing today? Looking amazing. Just seeing the beautiful people all around here. And just want to say thank you for joining this environment, especially the last couple of years we've had. I know, how many of you, this is the first time you've been out, have a good time since the whole COVID lockdown thing? Yeah, I got one. Okay, most of you a lot better than you, breaking some rules, but no. We're not going to talk about a party, are we? No. But brilliant, thank you for coming. And this first song, without further ado, is a song, famously, the music you will hear, you will know it. But the song, I wrote the song as a testimony of my walk in terms of my faith as a Christian and how I was in a very terrible place and how it was picked up and brought into a place whereby I feel I have a purpose, and I'm very thankful for that. And every day is something I'm very thankful to God for helping me through that process and through that time. So this song is called Amazed, but the beat you will hear is called, the music is going to be via Fly Me to the Moon, but let's hear it. When you're ready, before I keep on blabbing. Let's put some volume on that. I'm amazed by the works of your hands. You took me out of the dark and got me right up. Now I don't feel the same, 'cause when I look back, there's no regrets, 'cause I'm still alive. I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna tell the world. Let me think. There it is. I look around, got everything that I need. Like a star shining bright up above in the sky. You and I, oh God, I give myself all to you. No one else. I got nothing left to say. I'm amazed, yeah. I'm amazed by you. All the things I've been through, you were there, holding me by the hand. Oh, in other words, Lord, it's been me and you. Oh, in other words, I love you. Oh, let me think. There it is. I look around, got everything that I need. Like a star shining bright up above in the sky. You and I, oh God, I give myself all to you. No one else. I got nothing left to say. Nothing left to say. Oh, 'cause I am so amazed. Yeah. Thank you. Woo. Thank you very much. You're too kind. You're too kind. Next song is a song that some of you know is a popular song, and it's a song that really speaks a lot of volume in terms of how disparity, or shall I say, how much disparity there is in our society today. And some people are struggling, others don't have much. We have a lot of inflation going on as well. You have all kinds of crimes going on, especially here in London. So, but the song really just brings it all back in terms of redemption, in terms of how we need to take responsibility, in terms of how we need to think and do the things that we ought to from a community point of view. Sometimes we like to point the fingers, but most times we need to actually look at ourselves and say, what can I do to make a difference? This song is called Redemption Song. Oh, calling out redemption, redemption, yeah. What pirates, yes, they rob I, so down to the mansion ships, minutes after the tech I, from the bottomless pit, but my head was made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We forward in this generation, yeah, triumphantly. Won't you help me say, oh, the songs of freedom. It's all I ever heard. Oh, redemption songs, yeah, redemption songs. Oh, emancipate yourselves from anxious slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall it kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Oh, we've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me say the songs of freedom? It's all I ever heard. Redemption songs, yeah. Redemption songs, redemption songs, yeah. Hey! We're calling out to you, Lord, redeem your people. Oh, people dying, people crying, people calling. Oh, yeah. Emancipate yourself from this negative energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall it kill our children while we stand aside in love? Some say it's just part of it, but we know that God is looking at you. Say, even though the situation is dire, but we know we've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me say, the songs of freedom is all I ever heard. Oh, redemption song. Oh, redemption song. Redeem, Lord. Redemption song. Calling out redemption song. Every day, redemption song. Every moment, redemption song. Calling out, we singing out. Oh, let it be redemption song. Thank you. I promise it's gonna get lighter. We got a couple more songs to go. Just one more. This song is, how will I put it now? It's a victory song. Basically, in spite of what you face, in spite of what is thrown at you. And for me, once again, I rely on my faith, and I believe that with Christ's help that I can overcome all things. It doesn't mean that I don't do the basic things, but what is important is the faith that I have that, you know what, look, I can overcome, I can push forward. No matter what is thrown in my face, I'm going to push forward and achieve. This song is called Faith. If you want, you can put your hands together. If you want, I'm just walking this way, feeling down again. Constantly told I don't know who I am, but this man I've become is broken now. This heavy eye is broken, but not disillusion. He knows just who I am. Sing with me. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. He's got me fired up. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. Yes, I'm born again. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. He's got me fired up. You cannot you speak, disbelieve is the only phrase. Lies and deceit, trickeries, unashamed. But this man I've become is broken out all your heavy chains. Freedom of not disillusion. I know just who I am. Say, you cannot get me down. Jesus, he's got me fired up. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. Yes, I'm born again. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. He's got me fired up. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. Now listen. Yes, I'm born again. We're gonna do it like this. What it is, what it is. I believe my God is ace in the bowl. They wanna get me vexed. Fired up, only God can fix. Skinny pop pop pie, he but I will not die. That what they like, he that will not cry. Calabosh, I'm fired up. Look at my face. They cannot get me down. Say, you cannot get, come on. Jesus has got me fired. Come on, you cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. I can hear you. Say, you cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. He's got me fired up. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got, get up. Yes, I'm born again. You cannot get me down. No matter what I'm going through, I know that I got to go and do. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got Jesus. Yes, I'm born again. You cannot get me down. Jesus, he's got me fired up. You cannot get me down, 'cause I got to get on. Yes, I'm born again. Woo! Okay. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for your clapping. I really appreciate it. It gives me a little bit of encouragement. Thank you. We're going to do the last song. Now I'm going to take you back to my heritage. A Nigerian, as I am. So I'm going to switch. So you're going to hear a different kind of sound and dialect come from this mouth. Don't be alarmed. I'm just only going back a few steps to my heritage. This is the Nigerian dialect. Nigerian is called the Pidgin English. Those of you familiar with it, I'm going to use a bit of that. And the accent might change a bit. So, my people, I'm going to sing some song for you. This song is going to be amazing. So if you don't like to dance, you might not enjoy it as much. So if you feel a bit of movement in your leg, don't ignore it. It's the spirit telling you to get up and begin to shake. Are we okay? Do you understand this dialect, this I'm talking? I've never started, yes? Okay. All right, DJ. Sorry, I'm not DJ, sorry. Sound. If you like it, you can lift your hands if you want it. Not only you, my God. Not only you, my God. Oh my God, you are my everything. Everything, Lord, is yours. Wherever you go, I will follow. Every day, nobody be like you. And I will sing it again. Not only you, my God, feed do me like you did do me do. Oh God, Jehovah, now you be a God. You make me feel so giddy giddy. Chine giddy ma. Osama Deo. Oluwadara. You are, come on, original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Original. Come on, people, I've not seen anyone moving. I Are you defying the odds? Come on. Hey. Listen. Oh my God. You are my everything. Everything. I'm targeting you. Come on. Every day. Like you. And I will sing it again. Not only you, my God. Are you ready? Please, not like a white dress. It's okay. You be our God. Like this. So, giddy giddy. Dima. Osama Bell. Are you ready? Adara. You. Come on. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Original. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original like this. Yes, there is original. Oh, give her a round of applause. She's great. Hey, who is gonna be the next volunteer? Are you ready? I will target you. Who is gonna come? My hand is moving. My brother, come. God Jehovah. Now you be our God. Come on, are you ready to stir the soup? You have to stir the soup. Not yet, calm down. Maendel, Oluwadara, are you ready? Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. If you burn, if you don't stare. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original original. Well done, let me tired. I'm tired a bit. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Somebody's coming. Original. Right at the end of the song. Very good. Coming from Judah. Original. Are you ready? Truth and only way. Original. Come on, Joe. Original. Come. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, you're ready. 1, 2. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Original conquering lion. Original coming from Judah. Original truth and only way. Original. Woo! Give him a round of applause. Well done. Thank you. You okay? Wow. Thank you very much. Wow, that's my exercise for the day. God bless you. I've been Chris Paladino. Have a great evening. Good.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was a wonderful way to get our evening started. Now we're going to move to a slightly more sedate and contemplative experience. I'm going to welcome up Shanti Daffern to the stage. Shanti is standing in for Malcolm Geit, who is sad that Malcolm has not been able to come tonight. COVID is in his household, so say a prayer for him. But Shanti is someone who is also interested in poetry. I'm sorry, I made that a rather downer way to introduce her, but I'm sure that you will give her great applause, so she'll be very encouraged and excited to come to the stage. Shanti is doing a PhD in Wordsworth and in pilgrimage and holy place. She cares about poetry and prayer and the ways that poetry can invite us into prayer. So without further ado, I invite Shanti up here to share a few poems by Malcolm Geit, who sadly cannot be here, and some that she has chosen on her own. So please enjoy this poetry. Round of applause.
Hello. One of the dangerous side effects of deciding to get baptized and have Joy as your godmother and getting active in your parish is that you'll find you walk in to your parish centre at about 3 in the afternoon. The assistant used to be Malcolm Geit's assistant, and then a couple of hours later you'll walk into St Martin's in the Fields and everyone will be asking you, are you the poet? Are you the new Malcolm Geit? neither of which I think I can live up to. But I have a couple of poems by Malcolm Guite to read, and a couple I've picked out as well. So I'm going to start with two poems Malcolm wanted to read from Parable and Paradox, and they're both inviting us to think, as we will this evening, a bit more about music and what music does. So this is The Baton. Tap of a baton and the music starts, con brio and vivace, full of life, with a percussive hush and rush the strings, plucked, on their Picasso tenterhooks begin a playful pulse that pulls you in, brimming with memories of spring and rhythm, of patterns patted out on your 5 fingers, delicious incantations, nursery rhymes, the way that the farmer and the beggar ride enchanted jiggle-juggle, swoop and swing. You heard the baton tap before your birth, deep in the wombing dark, a pulsing beat, the spring and source and rhythm of your life. You heard the sound that measures all your years, your mother's heartbeat as it quickened yours, music before you had ears to hear. Now, music is remaking memory, in repetitions, forward references, the to and fro of making all things new, till tempo overflows the temporary. The beaten bars of time turn on their sides and lift a ladder to the timeless realm. You climb it into freedom till you reach the limit and the center of the dance. Rich silence as the baton comes to rest. Ode to St. Cecilia. You rested briefly here, Cecilia, in this good ground, the Roman catacomb, its rounded vaults are rich with sudden sound. As pilgrims hymn you through the darkened air, for you made music in your martyrdom, transposed the passion of your wedding night to angel-given garlands wreathed in light. In all your 3 days dying, you made room for beautiful abundance, gifts and giving. Your death was blessing and your passing praise, as you gave way to grace like music that still lives within its dying and gives in giving place. Cecilia, give way to grace again, transmute it into music for us all. Music to stir and call the sleeping soul and set a counterpoint to all our pain, to bless our senses in their very essence and undergird our sorrow in good ground. Music to summon undeserved abundance, unlooked for, overbrimming, rich and strong, the unexpected plenitude of sound, becoming song. One of the things I love in that poem is that last image of that brimming over and that plenitude. And I was at a talk last night about the wedding of Cana, and it feels so much that same image of abundance. As Joy mentioned, I work myself on Wordsworth, so I couldn't resist bringing in a tiny bit of Wordsworth, the poet of, in his words, the still sad music of humanity. And this is from the prelude, so it's from the second book. In the first book, he's already told us the mind of man is framed even like the breath and harmony of music. He's told us that he grew up with the stream making ceaseless music through night and day, which composed his thoughts. And then in this moment, like in Malcolm's poem about St. Cecilia, we're brought to a specific place to hear the music of that place. So our steeds remounted, and the summons given with whip and spur, we by the chantry flew in uncouth race, and left the cross-legged knight and the stone abbot, and that single wren, which one day sang so sweetly in the nave of the old church, that though from recent showers the earth was comfortless and touched by faint internal breezes, sobbings of the place and respirations from the roofless walls, the shuddering ivy dripped large drops, yet still, so sweetly, mid the gloom the invisible bird sang to itself, that there I could have made my dwelling place, and lived forever there, to hear such music. So Wordsworth's thinking there obviously about the music that we find placed in everyday life and in nature. And I want to close with one last poem, inspired actually by when Chris was singing just now. It reminded me of a poem by Gwendolyn Brooks. This is called Mark Robeson, written for Mark Robeson, but it speaks more generally about blues singing, and I think also at the end about what the Plough is trying to do in this issue, thinking about what music does for us. That time we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge, and other symptoms of an old despond. Warning, in music words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shanti. I think one of the ironic things about writing a whole magazine issue on music is that music, we often say, says what words cannot say. So there's this kind of irony and then going back and wanting to write a whole bunch of words about music that says what we just said, words cannot say. But I think that there's this amazing way in which music and words open one another up. And one of the first places that I learned to love that relationship between words and music was in folk music. Now, my way of experiencing that was by learning how to drive. So I don't know what it's like in the UK, but in America, the way that you get a driver's license is that when you're 15 years old, I cannot believe they let 15-year-old drive. But when you're 15, you can get a learner's permit, and then you have to drive for 60 hours with an adult. And my mother, I had 3 older siblings, and so it was quite an endeavor to kind of make time to get these 60 hours of driving in with me. And the way that she did this was that 2 afternoons every week, we would get into my little Honda CRV, my navy blue Honda CRV, and we would drive around the country roads. I grew up in Colorado, which is a mountain state. And we would drive through the mountain roads in the back, places where you wouldn't see many people, so there was no danger of me killing us. And we would listen to the music that my mom loved in the 70s when she was young. And that was the music of people like Paul Simon and James Taylor. And it was in those moments as I was driving, and it was this passing on of words and music from my mother to me, and in the really kind of intimate relationship between words and music that I think you find in folk music, that I learned to kind of think that there was this way that music could hold words and help hold our experiences. So that is why I'm very excited to introduce our next act, which puts poetry into words. I think that is, puts poetry into music, which I think is part of what folk music does. And that is what our next act will be doing. So the next person I'm going to introduce to you is Jeremy Maendel, who is originally from Fayette County, Pennsylvania. As a part of a family of 10, he was taught to sing by his parents, who were strong believers in music as a form of prayer. Jeremy and his brothers started writing and performing songs in their teens. Their early influences, like mine, were Paul Simon, Peter Seeger, and Phil Oakes. Jeremy has performed at venues across America and is now a member of the Darvel Bruderhof community in Robertsbridge, where he still performs locally and in London. He also wishes to express that seated somewhere in the audience tonight is his wife, Susan, of 34 years. So for that 34 years of marriage and for the excellent set that we are about to hear, would you please give a round of applause for Jeremy Maendel? There he is.
Hi, I'm excited to share a few songs tonight. This song is called the Once Wild Horses. The words are the poetry of Philip Britz. Now, Philip was a farmer and a poet who became part of the Bruderhof community movement. And prior to that, he was very active in the pacifist movement between the wars and very active in the Peace Pledge Union. Now, there's an interesting connection here for us today, and that is the Peace Pledge Union was founded by Dick Shepherd. Dick Shepherd was rector of this church right here, St. Martin's in the Fields. So that's incidental, but very interesting. Anyway, this song is about the idea that the spirit within us dulls and even dies when life is predictable and comfortable. It's not a new truth, but it's new coming from a horse. Here it is. Here's his poem. It's the original song, The Once Wild Horses. When we were wild horses, how we used to race across the turf, clutch of the wind more solid than the rocks that spun away behind beneath our feet, not knowing if the range ahead were cloud or mountain. But now we lie in tame pastures and drink tap water, chewing hay that is thrown over a fence. It's not that we are halter-led and bucket-fed. It's not that we pull unwilling wheels that makes the sunlight pale, the air insipid. It's only the remembrance and the challenge of the turf. It is only that we no longer gallop headlong toward Cloud Mountain. Yeah, now we lie in tame pastures and drink tap water, chewing hay that is thrown over the fence. When we Gary Stanaway, helping on the drums. I've lived here in the UK for a few years now, for 3 years, and I love it. My mother was British. I didn't grow up around here, though. Maybe you guessed that. But this song is about my home county, and there's something special about where we were raised, and I know it's the same for each of you. So just drop in the name of your hometown, and I'm sure this song will work for you too. Say hello to Fayette County if you make it up that way. I don't get around as much as I did in my younger days. I was raised in that country, so pure and so fair. But the road diverged in a wood and I wandered away from there. Wandered away from there. I miss the barbed wire and the frost on the Allegheny Hills, the green and the spring creeping like sunlight up the ridge. Why I left, I can't say why. I can't say why. Say hello to Fayette County for me. She's prettier than dreams. If you've been someplace so far away, then you really seen some things. Those miles and miles of state road are a one-way track, and no matter how hard I try, I never make it back. I never make it back. I miss those misty hollows and the sweet smell of the fields, the river running through laurel, hemlock, rock and fern. Why I left, I can't say why. I can't say why. Every man serves his time. I know I've done my share. And when that old roll is called, you will find me there in Fayette County. If you make it up that way, I don't get around as much as I did in my younger days. In my younger days. Thank you. I was trimming the hedge the other day, and my neighbor came over and said, "Hey, you should not cut the hedge at this time of year. The birds are nesting, and you might displace the baby birds." I said, "I'm fine, good with that. There's plenty of other times I can cut hedge. It's good. I like birds." But then I was thinking, when war happens, it's children that gets displaced, right? And worse, much worse, as we know. So I'm not sure if we're all that sane and civilized as we maybe think we are. On the side of a hill, in a land called somewhere, a little boy lies asleep in the earth, while down in the valley a cruel war rages, and people forget what a child's life is worth. On the side of a hill, a little cloud weeps and waters the grave with its silent tears, while a soldier cleans and polishes a gun that ended a life at the age of 7 years. And the war rages on in a land called somewhere, and generals order their men to kill and to fight for a cause they've long ago forgotten, while the little cloud weeps on the side of a hill. I had a grade school teacher by the name of Jane Clement. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but she was a poet. Turns out that Plough publishes her work. It's the group that put this together tonight. And she lived some years in Sussex and wrote about what stirred her soul, about the rich history, the ancient castles and the fields and seagulls and the plowmen at work and the hedges and the gates. And beneath these words run other words, words about her faith in God and her commitment to her faith community, and of a way of life that provides an answer to the ills of society, an answer to the need of war, the need for justice, equality. This is her poem, The Gate. No one compels you, traveler, this road or that. Make your choice, dust or mud, heat or cold, fellowship or in solitude, foul weather or a fairer sky. The choice is yours as you go by. But here, if you would take this path, there is a gate whose latch is love, whose key is single, and which swings upon the hinge, swings upon the hinge of faith.
None can mock who seek this way, the King we worship shamelessly. If you would enter, traveler, into this city fair and wide, it is forever, and you leave all trappings of the self outside. But here, if you would take this path, there is a gate whose latch is love, whose key is single, and which swings upon the hinge, swings upon the hinge of faithfulness. But here, if you would take this path, there is a gate whose latch is love, whose key is single, and which swings upon the hinge, swings upon the hinge of faithfulness. No one compels you, traveler, this road or that road, make your choice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. I loved, you shared, one of those songs was by Paul Simon, right?
Correct.
Yes, and that's the Side of the Hill?
Side of the Hill.
It's called The Side of the Hill. And I love that you played that song, because this whole issue is about what music can do, and one of the things that music can do is protest. And that was a song that he wrote and incorporated into one of the most famous songs by Simon and Garfunkel, which is Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Do you all know that song? All right, it's the counterpoint, as you say. And the thing that's really fascinating about it, I'm just going to be a little nerdy about music for a minute, is that that song is this folk song about someone re-encountering their lost love. And the one who's being re-encountered gives all these tasks to the lost beloved one. So she asks him to weave a shirt that has no seams, to find a house somewhere between the island and the shore, to find land between the island and the shore. It's all these impossible tasks, right? And the point is kind of like, well, you can have me back when you do these things that are impossible to do. But that's laid over this song about war. And this was this very beautiful, poetic protest to the wars that were happening in their own era. And it was saying that the role of peacemaking is kind of this impossible task that we are set by love. And I think weaving it with that song is this beautiful illustration of what music can do, which is that it can hold tensions together. And so I loved that you shared that song, which is a song of protest and of lament for something that has been lost. So thank you so much. And doing the impossible task of love and tasks of love is one of the things that Plough cares most about. So I know you all will be tired of hearing this, but do make sure that you get a copy of Plough, Why We Make Music, before you leave. Now we're switching to a very different form of music for our next performance, and that is by George Bartle. Now when he gave me his bio, this issue is about making music, but his biography opens with making something else. It says, George Bartle has been making noise since he became a chorister at Ely Cathedral as a young boy. Since then, he has graduated from the Royal College of Music in London and the Scala Cantorum Basiliensis, I'm sure I said that wrong, in Switzerland, as a singer and early music specialist. He has performed many orchestras and early music ensembles in the UK and abroad, and has regularly worked as a musician with the Royal Shakespeare Company and Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. He is also a virtuosic ukulele player. We have to shake our heads at Ian, the organizer of this event, for not encouraging George to do ukulele. He's a virtuosic ukulele, but maybe you can corner him later and figure that out. Tonight he will be joined by Jordan, who is one of his students. And he says that he is constantly inspired and motivated by hearing young musicians learn and perform together. So that is what we will see tonight, is making music between a maestro and a future maestro. So I welcome to the stage George and Jordan.
I should point out that if you're going to claim to be virtuosic at something, ukulele is quite a good place to start. It was.
That piece was called L'Envie, and it was by a French composer called En Bleu.
I've realised that in fact the trick to doing this is whenever I perform, to invite my 13-year-old student to come and play alongside me. I've been fortunate enough. The last couple of years have been pretty tricky for performing musicians. I think it's fairly fair to say, and I've been very fortunate because for the last 18 months I've been teaching the brass students in Darvel in East Sussex, and it's been a wonderful place to teach, and one of the students there is Jordan, and he has been practicing very hard. All of the students at Darvel, I have to say, have gone straight to the top of my list of favourite students because they all practice so hard. But definitely inviting Jordan along, but he is just 13 years old, so quite frankly, it's terrifying. But do give him a round of applause. And I also asked him to introduce that first piece because I couldn't pronounce it. We're now going to play for you 3 movements for 2 trombones. We've called it that because we couldn't actually find a real name for the group of pieces, but it is written as three movements by the slightly, well, I'm not entirely sure whether it's a real name. The composer is named often dark. Anyway, you can decide whether you think it's a genuine composer or not. But here we go, 3 movements for 2 trombones. And here's the jeopardy. Will my music stand stay up all the way through? We don't have many stories to go with our pieces, perhaps with the exception of this next piece, for which I'm going to step off the stage. It's great when you get asked to do a performance and you hand over one whole piece to your student. So here we go. I'll leave Jordan to introduce this one.
So this piece is called Elegy for Mippy 2 by Leonard Bernstein. Mippy was a mongrel belonging to Leonard Bernstein's brother, who was called Bertie, and he was so sad when his dog died that he wrote an elegy for it. So here we go.
Upstaged by your students, dear me. Yeah, sorry, you're right. I should point out as well that although officially that's for trombone solo, it does actually state the trombonist should accompany themselves by tapping one foot mezzo forte throughout, which actually is really difficult to do. So he wasn't playing trombone solo, it was trombone and foot solo. That's just how versatile he is. And I wonder whether Chris is still around. I'm hoping Chris is still around. We wanted to invite Chris back to join us for this next number. We've got two more pieces for you. I don't know whether when you left home this evening to come here, you were expecting two trombones on stage. Not many people tend to. But I hope we've offered you a bit of a variety. I was chatting to somebody earlier about why I started playing the trombone, and the main reason why I started playing many years ago was because of the versatility, because we can play lots of different styles of music, and we're hoping to continue to demonstrate that for you now. I think Chris is behind me. It's not a pantomime, so I won't do that line, but I will hand the microphone over to him, and we're going to do our version of Fly Me to the Moon. Thank you very much. And when Chris left home this morning, he wasn't expecting to do that either. I don't know whether we decided who was going to announce this one. So this is our last song, piece of music. Piece. No, sorry, we are contractually obliged to play it. The old ones are the oldest. But this is our last piece. I would just like to say, just once again, for the last 18 months, teaching within Darvel has been, I mean, I say it to the parents when I see them every week, it's always such a joy to come. The sun always seems to be shining there, except for when it's snowing. But it really is a pleasure, and it's been a joy for me to be joined this evening on stage by Jordan. Please give him a massive, massive round of applause. And we're going to finish with a very short piece of music for you. It is our butchered version of very famous trombone piece, which is called The Acrobat. We've slightly adjusted it for 2 trombones, so this is The Acrobats.
That was truly marvelous. Some excellent noise was made, as your bio said. I am both terribly excited and very sad to introduce you to our last act, which will be the Reverend Dr. Tim Bonniface. That's many things to be, a reverend, a doctor, and a jazz saxophonist. I love listening to jazz for the same reason that I love spending time with my 4-year-old niece, which is that you never quite know what will happen. Tim Boniface is the chaplain and fellow at Girton College, Cambridge, a published theologian, and for 20 years, a freelance multi-instrumental jazz performer. Tim's most recent jazz suites, The 8 Words and The Infant, explore New Testament texts through instrumental jazz composition and improvisation with his quartet. A longtime lover of jazz, Tim finds inspiration wherever there is passion in music making. But in particular, he has always been drawn to the playing of saxophonist Dexter Gordon and pianist Oscar Peterson. Tim is joined by his good friend and highly respected jazz pianist Phil Merriman, who brings a level of creativity and proficiency that is highly prized by the many artists for whom he has worked and recorded. And I've been told to enthuse about Phil's excellent new EP, The Emergence, and particularly it's built around the track of the proverb, which experiments with text and what text usually does. So after you listen and are awed by this wonderful set, do go look up Phil Merriman's EP, Emergence. And without further ado, please come to the stage and give a warm round of applause for Tim and Phil.
Oh, this music sounds terrifying. Oh my goodness me. So one of the things that really disturbs me is that I had to begin my evening performing to all of you by dancing, which I've never ever done in public because I can't move my hips. I don't mean that's not a medical condition, it's just inability. So this is kind of mortifying and also quite beautifully humbling. So what on earth is going on over here? This guy is a great friend. What? Yeah. Okay. Gosh. My word. Don't plan anything with jazz musicians at the end. Yes. Shall I play into that one? Or what? Yes, please. Okay. Now, people aren't very good at this. Can you do this? Can you do that? Now, don't clap at a different time. Okay? Don't change. Don't change. Whatever you think I'm doing, this is what you're doing. Okay? Can you do that? Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. That was a song by Nat Adderley called Work Song. As somebody who's in Christian ministry, and so I'm a chaplain at Girton, which incidentally is where Malcolm, who isn't here, used to work. And I mean, rumour has it that if we turn up in the same building, one of us just kind of combusts, so maybe that's what went on there. I'm also understandably interested in the kind of intersection between being a jazz musician and being a priest, being a theologian, and there's all sorts of ways in which people find jazz as kind of fertile ground for thinking about Christian thinking, Christian living in faith. Some of that's to do with improvisation and the kind of way that sort of connects with what some of that living is like sometimes, living freely whilst also in relation to a tradition. There's also ways in which people think about the kind of collaboration between jazz musicians as telling us something about the possibility of a non-competitive vision of human living. Would that be astonishing if we could find more things where we step out of this bizarre idea we have that one of the best things we can do is to put ourselves in competition with one another? I tell you, in a university place, we're terrible at this. Also, people use it for a way, although I'm a bit suspicious about this, to be honest, about, kind of maybe God's a bit like a jazz band. I mean, I kind of hope not really, being in one. But along with all of that, one of the things I've realised kind of after the fact was I was sort of more interested in being a theologian by playing jazz rather than writing about it or kind of talking about it. And so I've written 2 albums. One's called The 8 Words, one is called The Infant, and they are instrumental compositions and improvisation on biblical texts. And we've made recordings of them, which you can get. They're really good coasters. You can put like cups on them and stuff and everything. But we also perform them live and respond to the text and kind of go in a different direction according to what's happening for us in that space. And actually, I have a hunch that the way jazz musicians relate to the music they're playing and the way they improvise together is more similar to the way communities of faith read their sacred texts than we might think, actually. So I want to play you a piece from my suite called The Infant, which is actually a Christmas suite, but it's appropriate all year round, of course. This is an attempt to explore musically the words of Mary right at the beginning of the Christmas story, when the angel Gabriel visits her and tells her of her calling to bear the human life of God in the world. And she responds, "Let it be with me according to your word." So Phil and I are going to play a bit of the theme and then just kind of improvise on this for a little bit. So I'm going to do one more thing for you, which is to do what almost all jazz musicians do, which is to take what are called standards, the great songs that everyone kind of has a go with. Gosh, it's really tiring. I don't know why I do it, really. God. There must be an easier saxophone to play somewhere. Play these standards, sorry, it's unguarded. We take these great songs, often called the Great American Songbook. This is a tune called "It Could Happen to You." It's not about ordination, but it could be. It's a lovely little tune. And basically, what we do is we play the melody, and then we use the chord changes as an opportunity to speak, kind of, or express or explore ourselves. We've got no idea which one of those three we're going to do now. But this is called "It Could Happen to You." And on other days I've sung it, but I'm not going to do that this evening. No, it's all right. Merriman on the piano. Thank you very much. I'm Tim Bonniface. Thanks. Chris is going to come and we're going to start the togetherness aspect of things, aren't you? I'm going to kind of slip back here and because he was playing, and I heard Chris sing, and I thought, oh, I really want to hear him play with Phil. So this is the kind of, I'm done, all right?
This is a payback time, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dancing.
We'll be dragging you on stage, dragging me back. That's not very godly, is it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Sharing the love, that's what.
How many of you know Amazing Grace? Please feel free, don't just leave me here hanging. Just join in and let's really sing this song for what it really means. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound thou saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I was a lost, oh, like a wretched man that I was, like a wretched man that I was, oh, said I was lost, but now I am found. Was so blind, so blind, said I was blind, so blind, said I was blind. Brother Phil, God bless you. Thank you. That's it from me.
Thank you all so much. That was a revelation. All right, we are drawing near to a close, but we want to, and did somebody say no? We do have to leave here eventually. I want to invite the musicians back on stage. Have you forgotten that I'm not singing these songs on my own? Right before we leave, we want to do a bit of communal singing. I have a theory, which could be very quickly proven wrong. Who in here knows the song The Weller Man? Anybody? Does anybody want to sing The Weller Man? No. Nobody? Yeah, he's right. Tim is right. Okay. All right, it's fine. All right, well, I think we will close the evening. I give you two options. One, we can sing Danny Boy together. They figured everyone would know Danny Boy. Or we can all get up together and sing a final rendition of, who knows, the Doxology or the Old 100. Do we know that? No? Okay, you know the tune. Da 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 da. Do we know that? Yeah? All right, can you please rise with me? All right? And if you need the lyrics, to this, it's the last song on my Twitter. Go to Joy Marie Clarkson on Twitter. There's a lyrics page. And sing with me the very last lyrics of that. Yeah, got lyrics? All right. Is everyone? Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody ready? Chris. Okay. All right. Is everybody ready? If you know it, sing with me.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Thank you all for joining us. Make sure to get a copy of Plough on your way out and a drink if you want it. We are so glad you came. Thank you very much.